everyone, my name is Chelsea and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are talking about my 25 books to read in 2025. So the last couple years I had been doing like an unofficial 23 in 2023, 24 in 2024, and never really picked specific book titles that I wanted to read. Back in 2023, I was doing an indie books all year type of thing where I tried to read at least 23 different indie authors. And I do read some indie books like almost every single month. So I was sort of doing the same thing in 2024. I have not actually kept track, but one thing that I really wanted to do is actually pick 25 books to read in 2025, which I think is gonna be like a quarter of my goal for 2025. We'll have a goals video coming up soon, and I've been sort of brewing over them. So if I make my goal 100 books, 25 of them is 1/4 of the things that I'm going to read. So I'm also going to incorporate these into my TBR game as well. We're going to be changing that up a little bit because I feel like we just need a little bit of a refresh. I have not picked my 25 books that I want to read in 2025. So what I'm going to be doing today is finding them physically. I'm going to pick physical books and showing them to you, because one thing that I want to do, because I've seen a lot of people do it, because it's around the holidays, people are wrapping up their books so that it's a mystery when they open them. And I thought that sounds so fun. I have been dreading getting an orange on my TBR game because it's for my TBR box with all of my unread books in it, and it's a lot, and sometimes I get books that I'm just like not in the mood for. So I'm going to be picking 25 books that I'm excited for in some way. Things that, like, if I was able to sit down and pick things like right now, those are the things that I would pick. And what we are going to do, probably not in this video because I still have to wrap more Christmas presents, but I'm going to wrap them up before we have our first TBR game, and one of the categories is now going to be just 25 in 2025, and we are going to then have to randomly pick a book from those stacks that I will probably not remember what they are, and hopefully get through all 25 of them through the course of the year of 2025. Does that make sense? We are going to pick 25 books today off of my currently owned TBR, and then eventually I will wrap them because I will definitely have extra Christmas wrapping paper, and we will use those in the TBR game. Yes? Yes. Okay, like I said, I have not picked them out yet, so let's see what I want to read this year. Okay, I think one of the first things I'm going to have to pick is the Falconer by Elizabeth May. This is a book that I picked up from Illumicrate. I have the whole trilogy. I have never read it, not even the original ones that were more YA focused. This is now going to be more of like an adult fantasy romance type of thing. When else am I going to read it? I don't know. I'm going to say this is our first pick. Yes, I am currently just going through my adult shelves in order, and then we will make our way over to other stuff as well. I have 2 Mike Chens on my TBR, and I have not read anything from him, but I think this one, which is the one that came out most recently, is the one that I want to pick. It's a quantum love story, and this one is going to be about like time loops and things like that. I have another one, like I said, by him, but I think this is the one I want to put in my 25 in 2025. Okay, I just actually sat down and picked a few different things, so let's go over these. A lot of them are things that like I have been meaning to read for a while. I'm still very excited about it, but at the same time, because I've been doing TBR games and things, it just hasn't gotten picked. So I think some of these are a little bit more like a way to get in a mood read almost. So Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. I have read almost every single thing Cassandra Clare has ever done. I read her middle grade that she co-wrote with Holly Black. I have not finished the most recent Shadowhunters book, The Chain of Iron or whatever that one was, but this is her adult debut into fantasy. It is very, very chunky, which I do think is part of the problem. However, I desperately do want to read it, so I'm going to put it in here. I also have Big Damn Hero by James Lovegrove. I have like 6 or 7, 6 I think, of these Firefly books because I absolutely love it as a series, and I keep meaning to read it, and then I don't, even though I have 6 of them. I don't know if that's intimidating or not, but This is the first one in this collection, so I need to read that. I also have the True Love Experiment by Christina Lauren. I absolutely love The Soulmate Equation, and this is the companion sequel novel to that. I have 2 editions of this. I need to read it. I think this would be a very easy one to read. Ocean's Echo by Everina Maxwell. I absolutely loved Winter's Orbit. The year I read that, it was my top book of the year. Again, should want to read this. Velocity Weapon by Megan E. O'Keefe. I absolutely love sci-fi, and I don't feel like I read it enough. This was actually a gift from a friend that I met through doing booktube and stuff, who loves Mass Effect and other things like I do, and said this reminds her of that a lot, and I should love this, and I just, again, have not read it, so it's because it's a little bit chunky. Another sci-fi that I actually just got this year, and it's a novella, and I just feel like I might want to have some shorter things in this 25 and 2025. This is Full Speed to a Crash Landing by Beth Revis. Beth Revis, I don't think I've ever read anything by her, but she has done YA before. This is an adult sci-fi novella. Yeah, I need to read this. It should be very short and quick. I also have The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I have other Ashley Poston here too, and I've also read some. Like, I should be getting into all of this kind of stuff, but again, I feel like because of some of the ways that I pick the TBR, things that I really do want to read when I pick them up just don't get read sometimes. This is going to be a romance with a little bit, I think, of a magical twist to it. Yeah. Continuing through some of my adult stuff, how about Starter Villain by John Scalzi? I've read Red Shirts by John Scalzi, which is like a very meta take, satirical take on Star Trek, which I absolutely loved. This is about a guy who takes over his uncle's like super villain business or something like that, and the cats are upper management. Like, I just need to know what this is about. I also have Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. I got this very, very pretty edition after having never read the book before, but this is a romance that a lot of people really, really love, and I just have not read it. It started off indie, and it definitely has been out for a while. Like, I've had it on my radar for a while, so let's put it in the pile. I also have The 7.5 Deaths. That is hard to say. The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. This is supposed to be some sort of like murder mystery type of thing with a time loop. I do love those, so like that's why we have a couple of these. And they're trying to like figure out what happened, I think. I also read a fantastical fantasy murder mystery thing this year that I absolutely loved, so like we're gonna put it on the pile. And then I did jump back up to the beginning of the alphabet, and I ended up picking The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. This is actually what my husband had picked for me to read in the 12 Books, 12 Friends for this year that I didn't read, and I just don't think I'm gonna do a 12 Books, 12 Friends for next year necessarily. I'm gonna do the 25 and 2025, so we're gonna move this over here. I think this is more literary fiction, but it is about a woman who gets to like look at her memories after she dies, to like look back at her life, I think. Okay, so that's 13 so far. Adult books. So now I'm going to look at my YA and middle grade and hopefully have 12 of those I want to pick. I do not read those as often as the adult books. Not that it's a bad thing, so I should be able to pick 12 that I really, really want to read off of that area as well, so that way we can mix them all in together. I also think I have officially gotten the 12, mostly YA, like one middle grade book, then I think I'm going to put in this 25 and 2025. Again, some of these things are things that I've had for a while that I definitely need to read. We'll go through them. Let's see. So I have When Night Breaks by Janella Angeles. I absolutely love the first book in this series that came out forever ago. I do think I might want to reread the first one before I get to this, but it's a duology, it's a finale. I have sort of been putting it off, not for any specific reason. Like, I should want to definitely read this. So we're gonna put it in the stack. Then for the middle grade, I did pick Small Spaces by Catherine Arden. I want to say I picked this up last year, potentially. It is middle grade, it's very short. It's a little bit spooky. I've heard really, really, really good things about this. And so yeah, I might end up picking it when it's not around the fall, October season, but I do want to read it. Then I have Cinderella is Dead by Kaylin Bayron. I have not read anything by this author, but I have been very, very intrigued by a lot of stuff, and I'm also pretty much a sucker for a lot of like fairy tale retellings and things like that. This is going to be Cinderella retelling. It's going to be sapphic. I need to read it. I also have The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I've read other stuff by Jennifer Lynn Barnes that I have really enjoyed. This one I think is going to have some sort of competition aspect, maybe deadly competition aspect. I've heard really good things. I do need to read this. Then I have Ink and Bone by Rachel Kane. Rachel Kane passed away from cancer in 2020, the end of 2020, and right around when that happened, I bought all of her books because that's what I did basically. I have read stuff by her that I've really, really enjoyed, and this is the first of the YA series that I have because I have all of them. This is the Great Library series. I'm very intrigued by this. I always have been, and I have the entire series. So let's start a series. A lot of these are also first in a series or things that are starting that I need to read. So yeah. Okay, another one we have is The Luminaries by Susan Dennard. I've read other Susan Dennard that I've really, really enjoyed. I love this edition. It's so shiny. But this is another beginning to a YA series. I'm pretty sure, I don't remember everything. The back says the forest is dangerous for a luminary untrained. It's gonna have magic and stuff. Yeah. Then I also have Trapped in Wonderland by Danny Hoots. This is an indie book. I have a lot of first books in a series by this author because they are a local Arizona author and I used to be a local Arizona reader, and this is going to be one that is an Alice in Wonderland type of retelling, and so yeah. Then I have Awakens by Elise Kova. I absolutely love this gorgeous edition. Again, I have read other things by Elise Kova that I've absolutely loved. This is a series that is technically before the series that I have read, although you can read them separately. It has elemental magic and political sort of stuff, and I absolutely love the series that I have been reading, and so I bought the entire Awakens series and have not started it because they're gorgeous and I needed them, but I need to read them too. Then I also have Release by Patrick Ness. I actually have a couple different Patrick Nesses on this shelf. I also had The Rest of Us Just Live Here. I have read other things by Patrick Ness, multiple things that I have absolutely loved, and I have owned both Release and The Rest of Us Just Live Here for years. I did like an eeny, meeny, miny, mo of which one I was gonna put in this stack. The Rest of Us Just Live Here is about a boy that is surrounded, I think, by like superheroes or chosen ones, and he's not. And this one mentioned some sort of ghost coming from a lake or something, and it's gonna change this boy's life. John Green blurbed it here, but also somebody said, oh, it's the bookseller, brilliant, Release is packed with love, heartbreak, and confrontation. I mean, I actually don't know what this is about, but I've loved other stuff by Patrick Ness, and I haven't read him in a while. Then I have The Darkness Outside Us by Elliot Schreffer. A lot of people love this book and have been telling me I need to read it. It is sci-fi, it is male-male romance in some way. I'm pretty sure people, like, it's not a romance book, like it's not the romance genre, it is sci-fi, but it has romantic elements and people absolutely love this, and so I have been meaning to read it. I also have Gallant by V.E. Schwab. I've read a lot of things by V.E. Schwab. This is one of these smaller books that I have on my shelf from her, and so I just figured I do want to read more stuff. I should just pick something, and this is the one that I ended up going with. And then finally, my friend Alex should be happy about this, hopefully. I have They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. She has been telling me I need to read this for years. Again, it was on my 12 Books, 12 Friends for 2024 that I did not get to because I am scared of this book. But I've owned it, I think, since the year it came out. It's in hardcover. I need to read this. I really do. No matter how scared I am of it, I need to read this. So, it's going on my pile. So now, we'll turn you around over here so we can see the pile. Hopefully the lighting is still okay. That's the window, so maybe not. Here we go. The 25 books I do want to read in 2025. Like I said, we are going to be changing the TBR game around a little bit so that one whole category will end up being this. But it's not going to be stuff where I get to, like, see it and be like, which one do I want to read? We're going to wrap them up, and it's going to be a complete surprise. And I hope you guys stick around for that, because I know for a fact that once I wrap these up, I will have no idea what is in them. So, yeah, hopefully by the end of 2025, All of these books will be read. A lot of them have been on the TBR for a while, so they are overdue to be read. And so that is going to be it from me today. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up to let me know. Subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more videos. I do have videos coming out Tuesdays and Thursdays, so I will see you then. Bye!